Well, I was planning on putting a rack back into that today. No big deal, right? So I went and get a coffee with these knuckleheads here. And now this. It's completely dead. It won't come up. Awesome. So now I got to try to find one. And I guess I'm doing one of these today. These guys got Layla with her diaper on because she's in heat. And then Louie, the brother, trying to hump her, you dirtball. Can't get the window regulator today. I'm gonna have to take this door panel off, the window up and secured. I guess I'm gonna have to actually go into Dunkin' Donuts now for one of my coffees instead of going to the drive-thru. That sucks. How inconvenient. That guy there, I gotta get that out somehow without damaging it. This and this, and there's bolts there. And you should be able to pull it off. While I have it off, I can see if I can fix that. The bushings are bad too, so I should probably just order the bushings as well. They're like 16 bucks and you get 4 bushings. All 4 doors need them. Thank God this happened now when it's nice and sunny, because last night we had flash flood warnings. If this happened yesterday, I would have been not a happy camper. I got these off. They came off pretty easy. I was able to slip this bent screwdriver that I have in there without damaging anything. This here, it's just an airbag thingamabob. I was able to just stick my hand in there and do that. This, I was trying to figure out how to do this without damaging it, and I pressed it, and I noticed that you could do that. So that's pretty awesome. T25. So this little guy here, I'm using a pick. This is just a cover. And this is probably the point where it flicks off into some other dimension and I never find it again. Oh, and it's just a Phillips. So we got that, and then I think I could probably just, yep. So that's all loose. Little stupid tiny bee, whatever the hell you are. Get out of here. I think this has to pull straight out. Oh, yep. Then there's the screws. Don't lose those. Looks like I take that off. These guys right here. Oddly enough, it's a 7/16. It's not 12. It's not 13. It's not 11. It's not anything metric. Like quarter turn. Go all the way around. My goal today is just to get the window up. Might be, yeah, there's one more hiding. Last one, hopefully. I think. Yep. Look at this guy. Disconnect it here. Probably disconnect this. Give me a little more room. Hopefully I don't break that. Oh no! That thing went down my driveway somewhere. Got a tweeter. I can disconnect this. And this one is not easy to get to. So anyway, down to here. Oh look! See, that's right here where that strut is. That bushing's completely gone. So that's the reason, that's exactly what's going on with all 4 doors. Temporarily hooked everything back up to try to see. That bolt down there was loose, really loose. I can't really tell, but I'm gonna have to get a flashlight. Right in here, looks like there's a bolt missing. So, in fact, it is missing a bolt there. Missing a bolt. With these bolts out, both bolts, I can push this window up and find a way to secure it. It's a little trick to get the regulator bolt out for this bracket down here. This one is E-Torx. You can get to here, right? But this one is really close to the bolt goes from the back side into this way. So you got to get behind it. What you could do is a 1/4 inch gear wrench or just a 1/4 inch wrench and a T27 on the back here. Or what I did, and it actually worked. This is an E8, barely fits on that. That's probably like a 4.5 millimeter. I have a 5 millimeter, I have a 5.5, I have a 4 millimeter. I don't have a 4.5. I tried standard, none of the standards I have fit. Barely fits. I mean, it's got a little play in it, but I was able to do it, and I was able to get it from the other side. That's what I'm talking about down there. This one right here. So the window right now is in the back seat. So I just want to get this regulator out. That way it's already out. I'm also going to take this out so I can get this completely out. And the bolt for this right there is an E12. You see the sleeve where it was. This end, I'm hoping I can unscrew. It's $16. You get a set of 4. I'll leave links and stuff. So I got it out. You got this little guy here that holds the motor to here. These are all E12s. And those ones up there, right? Got it out. You see there, it's lapped on top of each other. Very easy to do these, and I didn't really take apart a lot. So I got a piece of poplar in there, wedged in there pretty tight. This ain't going nowhere. I have a new end on here, got it off Amazon, and I got new bushings here. Ish it through. Get through that, John. The only thing you're putting through is the little shaft, not the whole thing. The bushing comes with a new sleeve that seems to be too small. And there is my block of wood. I'm going to take this window out. Here's the new one. Okay, I don't know if it has a part number on the outside. I ordered, I guess their supplier's Dorman. I ordered a Dynalast or whatever it is. Found this screw here, and I just kind of ran it through to make its own threads. This was flexing a little bit, so that's probably why it doubled over on itself. Looks like right in there, that little white chunk. When I get the motor off, we'll be able to see. Probably because it was flexing, it caused that damage. These 3, should be 4 of them, but they're T30s. Just to pull the motor off. The motor comes right off. Yeah, see, it's all busted here. That thing busted. So there's no way to repair that. If it just got tangled up, that's one thing, but this is more than that. And there's a little bit of damage to this too. I hope that's not going to be a problem. This feels more like a rubber seal. It's not master spline, so you can just put it in any way. And the motor should be able to turn it if you have to. Right now I'm in where I need to be. It's not exactly the right size Phillips, but good enough. It's tight and it's not moving. It's a lot easier when you do it all at once instead of waiting a couple days. Here we have the 2 ends in the spot. And these new bolts are nice because they're actually E-Torques right here. That one started. That one's tight. I gotta tighten these 2. For the replacement one, this is a E7. tight. This one's a little tighter because you have the strut there. Probably, you know, if the strut's not in the way, it's a little easier, but with this being a different type of bolt, it's a lot easier. It goes like that, and you just tighten that down. It's just a little support bracket. Just clamps it in place, gives it more stability. Now we're going to get the window back in. Don't drop it. It's a little tricky because of the weather stripping is very pliable, so it kind of folds over itself a lot. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But you just get one end in, don't force it. You don't want to flex the window. I'm kind of moving it side to side. You see right here how it's all see. It's not hard to get in there. It's a lot easier when you're not trying to aim your body in a certain way to catch it on camera. There, it's all the way in. And now the window comes down and goes right there, right into those. Right. I don't know what the torque spec is for this, but yeah, it's not super tight because you'll break the window, obviously. It's going to be nice to be able to get Dunkin' Donuts now without getting my fat ass out of the car. These, I really want to make sure they're centered before I crank them down. And this is, I got to check, but I'm using a T27 right now. It might be a T30. But for me to get this lined up good enough, it actually is a T30. And I'm just going to snug them up. We're just going to put our thingies, our clips, just quarter turn rotation. Okay, they're all tight. Start hooking up the tweeter, putting the wiring where it's supposed to go. We got one connector left, which is on the door panel yet. That's hooked up. This one as well. Is there a little hook there? Goes on. That goes there. Okay. Basically in. And then this is the part where I again forgot to put the ductwork in, so you have to pull it back out again. It's not normally part of the procedure. You're supposed to not forget it. So, but luckily, it's easy to get off. Beat up your car. And then you got a little tiny black cover that goes on it. Looks like a little beauty mark or something. Okay, a little bit of bad news here. A little bit of bad news. This thing broke already. Now, I'm not exactly sure if it's because it's a piece of crap, which it really is, but I kind of like pushed really hard against the door by accident. It's kind of like losing my balance, and so now I got to replace it again. Problem is that these are difficult to get on because it's kind of cutting its own threads. This is the factory one. Okay, if you notice, it's metal. So this, I'm going to try this again and shut the door like a normal person. I really don't see this lasting very long, just because it's plastic. See, it goes right on there like that. To initialize it, we're going to put the key in, press the key, let it do its thing, right? And then you're going to come over here to your master switch. Let's get it all the way down first. Let's try doing it all the way down first. All right, so now it's all the way down. Yeah, you got to get it all the way down first. And it's going to do that automatically. It's going to go down by itself. I was still holding it up. Still holding it up. So now it should be initialized. And make sure all the other ones, since you had the switch disconnected, just make sure they're initialized as well. I'm going to use the C-Reader Elite. Okay, this is for BMW. I leave it in the vehicle because, well, it's a BMW for Christ's sake. See what I can do about the airbag situation here. There's a lot of stuff this thing does for little tiny things, and it's free updates for EVA, a health report, system scan, all the good stuff there. So we're just going to do a health report, and it's going to run through everything there. It scans pretty quick, actually. So this open circuit, because I had it disconnected, so I'm just going to clear everything. My airbag light did go out. That was on the dash. It wants me to turn the ignition switch off for 10 seconds. Start it up, see if my airbag light goes out. And it did. Woohoo! So this is a good tool to have in the car. It's slow, but it does everything. You can do coding with it. It's got OBD2, so I believe you could probably even use this on other vehicles just to scan them, the OBD2 side of it. Not exactly sure. I've never tried this on another vehicle. I'm sure it probably does. You got live data on here you can graph. It's pretty cool. I keep it in the glove box. Like I said, it's a BMW. You don't need it. So I'm going to go take a road test and get some more coffee. That's it for this one.